Smoking cessation can sometimes lead to some undesirable symptoms like increased appetite and sometimes weight management challenges. Today we're going to learn how to make a healthy yogurt bark recipe so we can kick those cravings. Let's get started. To make the base recipe for the yogurt bark, all we're going to need is 3 simple ingredients. First is plain Greek yogurt, next is honey and vanilla extract. I like to purchase plain Greek yogurt so I can add and control the sweetness as well as the sugar content, but if you have a yogurt that meets your nutritional needs, you can definitely use that for the base too. So to get started, all we're going to need is 2 cups of this plain Greek yogurt, and I'm just going to measure this out. And it does not have to be perfect or exact. This recipe is very hard to mess up, which is one of the reasons I love it. All right, and then next we have the honey. And so we're just gonna need a 1/4 cup of honey. And a little trick here is if you take pan spray and spray your measuring cup, the honey will slide right off. So we're just gonna do that and pour this honey right in here. This makes dishes easier too. And if you're anything like me, you don't like the dishes part, but you like the food part. And lastly, we're just gonna take a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we're gonna stir that until it's well combined. And so in this base recipe, the yogurt is serving as a great source of protein, vitamin D, calcium, as well as some probiotics for us. The honey's providing sweetness and the vanilla some flavor. And once this is all stirred up, we're gonna take a parchment lined baking sheet. And a little trick here is just to use some chip clips or some clothespins to keep the parchment paper in place while we spread the yogurt bark onto the tray. All right, and we don't want it too thick because it'll take longer to freeze, but we also don't want it too thin, so we're aiming for about a 1/4 inch of thickness when we spread this out. There's no right or wrong way to do this here. That looks good. All right, and then we're just gonna set this to the side and work on the toppings next. So now let's get into the toppings. So the toppings is a fun part. You get to be creative and they're endlessly customizable, but today we're gonna try 3 different flavor combos. And to start, we're gonna start with just a simple berry topping. Berries can be so wonderful because they're high in vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber. And specifically, vitamin C with smoking cessation may reduce some of the prolonged damage that smoking has caused. And we also know that vitamin C is so wonderful for our immune system. So I'm just gonna sprinkle these berries on here. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way. This is the fun part. And I'm just gonna add some strawberries. So I'm gonna chop that really quickly, making sure the tip of my knife and kind of do like a rocking motion here. All right. We're just gonna add a few pieces of the strawberries today. There we go. And simple as that, we have our berry flavor all finished. Next, we have a little bit more of a non-traditional flavor here. We're gonna do pistachios, dried cranberries, and some white chocolate chips. So we'll start with a rough chop on some of these pistachios here. And pistachios are really an awesome food to incorporate in the diet, not only for a general healthy diet, but also with smoking cessation, because they're really high in B vitamins. And we know that B vitamins can help alleviate some symptoms that are correlated with smoking cessation, things like insomnia as well as anxiety. They're also a great source of plant-based protein and fibers and healthy fats. And so this is a wonderful addition to our snack today. I'm just gonna scoop those up here. Like I said, no right or wrong way to do this. Just kind of sprinkle those around. A little bit more. All right. Next, we're gonna add some dried cranberries. And so just a little tip when you're purchasing any dried fruits is to make sure you read that ingredients list, because a lot of times they like to be sneaky and add extra sugars to food products like this. And so if you're watching your sugar content, it's a good thing to just check that ingredient list and make sure that there's no added sugar in them. And lastly, some white chocolate chips for some extra sweetness as well as some satisfaction to this snack. All right. And last but not least here, we're gonna do the last flavor, which is walnuts, banana, chocolate, and peanut butter. Who doesn't love that? But let's get started. Just like we did with the pistachios, we're gonna give the almonds just a rough chop here. The walnuts are also a great source of those B vitamins. Remember, helping alleviate anxiety as well as insomnia that can be associated with smoking cessation. They're also a brilliant source of that plant-based protein and fiber, as well as omega-3 fatty acids. So we're just gonna sprinkle these guys on here. All right. And next, we're gonna just rough chop this banana here. And bananas are a great source of potassium, as well as some fiber to add to this snack. And you can cut them smaller, bigger, whatever you like. We're just gonna plop those right on there. And next we're gonna do some chocolate chips. You could melt the chocolate chips if you wanted to drizzle it on top, but we're just gonna use these today. And lastly, the peanut butter, we will take the time to melt and drizzle on top, so I'm just gonna pop that in the microwave. Now that our peanut butter is nice and melted, we're just gonna drizzle that on top. It's gonna be tasty, but also make it look pretty. Here we go. And just like that, we have our healthy yogurt bark with 3 different flavor options for you to try. We're just gonna pop that in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours or until frozen, and then we can enjoy. Our yogurt bark is frozen, and so we're gonna give it a try. I know that the chocolate peanut butter flavor is a fan favorite because I've made this at home before, so we're gonna give the pistachio, cranberry, and white chocolate one a try. Yep, that would definitely satisfy and kick a sweet tooth craving. I hope this recipe inspired you to make healthful snack choices. If you're interested in smoking cessation, definitely contact your PAC team. And if you're interested in more nutrition information, reach out to your registered dietitian. We'll see you next time.